Good morning, world. This is Kier Thomas reporting from my second video log. Today I'll be talking about the second interaction I have with Emilio. We met at his apartment, and we'll be talking about the daily life of his school, what was it like there, and kind of some of his feelings and the behaviors that he displayed there, as well as behaviors from students and teachers at his school. So just to start off with, I met Emilio at his apartment because I thought it would be a comfortable environment. I really wanted him to open up, and I really wanted for him to tell me a story that I could relate to. I wanted to speak to him from minority to minority, and really see what his experience in his high school was like. And from what he told me, we had some key similarities, like the feeling of being alone, but also some real differences, like he actually became a part of the dominant group by displaying the same behaviors as them. As for me, that was never an option. So to start off with, he said in his freshman year, his friends valued his minority status. So the fact that he was different from everybody else, they really thought that was cool. They thought that that is what part of what made him unique, and that kind of took over his whole identity, being Hispanic. Um, the teachers liked him as well. Everyone really liked the idea of having this Hispanic kid in their class, knowing Hispanic kid. It kind of made everybody else feel like there was diversity within the school, even though there was only a small percentage um, of colored people actually there. Emilio said that at first this wasn't really, it didn't really bother him that much, but as he grew older, as the years progressed into sophomore and junior year, he saw that people only really looked at him and identified him as his race. And Emilio's personality himself was kind of pushed aside and masked over by his color. So he was forced to adapt the behaviors that the dominant group displayed in order to become more visible, in order to get his voice heard more, in order for the teachers to acknowledge him more, as well as friends to acknowledge him more. He said he began to speak the same language as them, meaning the same English, as well as speak the same, act the same behaviors, sarcasm, as well as display the same values that they did. That may have been partying, that may have been putting academics first, that may have been going to college, expectations of higher education. He said that going to high school was the first time that he actually felt an expectation of going to higher education. Back at his home, the expectation after school was always to work to help the family, because his family had moved over here from Mexico. So what this new behavior at his school developed was it developed code switching within Emilio. He had a set way that he acted with his family versus a set way that he acted at school. These two codes were totally separate and different, but they were key. They were key tactics that he needed to survive in his area. He said that the way he was acting at school, he needed to ask for him to be heard, for him to be acknowledged, and also for him to not just be that other color kid that people would ignore. He said that as he grew older to his junior and senior year, these two lives kind of collided as his family life became more involved in his school life, and his friends started to come home more. He felt like he became as like a translator for both groups, until both worlds collided, and then he was able to be one person. He said towards the end when he graduated and he found out that he really didn't have a way to pay for college, and that going to the military was going to be one of his only options. He realized that he can act like the dominant group all he wants to, and he can display the same behaviors that they display, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have the same financial backgrounds they have. He doesn't have the same family backgrounds he has, and he just doesn't have point blank the same skin color that his friends have. So the opportunities that he had are different. So he was forced to go into the military to pay for his education, versus his friends just going to school because their parents pay for it, or off loans, or off scholarships, or whatever they had to do. But he said that was a big transition. So now coming back, reconnecting with his friends, he feels like it's been a lifetime since he has really connected with them, and that the days in high school that he shared with them, they still have those memories, and it's his job to kind of reconnect that flame. 4 years later now that he is an adult. So what I got from the teacher standpoint for how teachers view him in his school was that the teachers liked him. The teachers thought he was a great student after they got to know him. So in the beginning of class in the school year of just getting to know teachers, Emilio said that teachers looked at him as a college student. They liked him in his classroom, especially because he was usually the only one colored person in that class. However, towards the end, this appreciation for him, this likeliness they had of him, and what he from what he told me, it turned into a toleration. This toleration that they had for him was really like, you're the only colored person in this class, so yes, you do have a voice and do have opinion, but it's not as valued as anyone else. You don't have anyone backing you. You don't have any support system. So they heard his opinions, but they never really acted on it and never really supported him. This is when his code switching become in effect. The better his code switching was, the more the more support he would get from the dominant group, because he would be displaying traits and values that they liked and that they would endorse. This I thought this was a great example of how Emilio had to adapt to his school environment in order to make the best out of it. In order to be successful, he knew that in order to be successful in the school, he had to act like they do, say what they say, do what they do, and get what they get, and that's exactly what he got. Even though he wasn't able to get in these AP classes that his friends were in, he was still able to get good, very decent grades in the classes that he did because of the relationship he built with the teachers by extending that hand out first, being the person that extends the hand out first and gets to know the teacher before the teacher can just write him off as a minority student. Thank you for listening, and I hope to provide you more information on my next interaction. Thank you.